Vegas attack was unprecedented. The concert space was what's known as a soft target, an open space where people are the most vulnerable. John Matthews joins me. He's the author of Mass Shootings, 6 Steps to Survival. I want to talk about how we can protect ourselves in situations like this. And, you know, I kind of had a moment today when I realized, yeah, we got to talk about this today on the air. It's gotten to that point, John. Is there any way to prevent these kind of attacks?
Well, we have to talk about it. You know, we have CPR training that goes out to millions of people, and then how many people really have to use it during their lifetime? We practice fire drills. This is the type of training that I've been advocating for years that every citizen needs to know. You need to know how to respond if you find yourself in a movie theater, a restaurant, or an outdoor concert, and a horrific attack like this should happen. And the first thing you've got to do is you got to be mentally prepared. So if you get a little bit of training, I'm not talking about a lot. A lot of times I spend 30 minutes to an hour with a group and provide them all 6 steps, go over exactly what to do in these situations, and by the time they leave, they have that in their head, they can practice it, and they know what to do if they're out there at one of these events.
You know, I understand people's reticence to it. We don't want to invite this, but we cannot bury our heads in the sand. This is the world we live in where this is happening. We saw a number of reactions. We saw a number of reactions there in Vegas, and please, we're never faulting anybody, and I think we all have a different reaction when things happen. Fight, flight, lay down, run, whatever. What is the right thing for us to do if we find ourselves, God forbid, in a situation like this?
Yeah, based on the research, we looked at the actions that the victims took and the decisions they made, and we came up with a 6-step model called ESCAPE. The first thing to do is if you can exit quickly and safely away from the area of the shooter, if you're in a restaurant, movie theater, something like that, get away from the area as quickly and safely as possible. An example is it's not just as simple as running. If you look at Aurora, Colorado, the people that stood up in the movie theater got shot. Those that laid on the ground and army crawled out made it out alive. So if you can exit. Now in the Las Vegas shooting, it was difficult to exit because everybody was moving towards that one main exit. So we want you to be prepared and think about the ancillary exits, the other exits that are on the side, the back, that you can take and not get trampled by the crowd. If you can't exit, the next best thing to do is find cover. Cover is going to protect you from bullets. It can be concrete barriers. It can be steel barriers. If you're in an office building, it could be a copier machine. It could be a vending machine. Out there in Las Vegas, the vendor booths with their refrigerators, with their equipment to serve hamburgers and hot dogs, those are things that are going to stop bullets. If you can't exit and you can't find cover, find concealment. If you can stay out of that shooter's line of sight, he's going to have less of an opportunity to make you a target. Tents, anything that will get you bushes, trees, out of that shooter's line of sight, that's what you want to do. So exit, cover, concealment. You want to always assess the situation. If the shooting moves to a different area, if the shooter moves, you want to be able to get away and move away from the area. Constantly assess it. If you do have to run, present a small target. Get small, get low to the ground, zigzag, and move quickly. And only as a last resort and under very, very limited circumstances, our research says should you engage the suspect. Those are the 6 steps. It's that easy, and we can teach everybody in an age-appropriate manner. I've got 6 kids, and I visit with them before we go to public events. Well,
and that was my next question for you, is that very quickly as our last question, if you're going with a large group, maybe a church group or a youth group or students going with you or even your family, is it wise to have a game plan, just even in a case of emergency, without putting this into the minds of people too young to have to worry about this kind of thing?
Absolutely. Have a game plan. When you get there, say, listen, if we get separated, we get split up, anything happens, we're going to meet at that cafe. Does everybody see that cafe on the corner? That's where we're going to meet. Talk to them in an age-appropriate manner. You don't have to talk about shooting or killing or murder. You can talk to your son or daughter and say, listen, if something bad happens, mommy and daddy are going to grab you. We're going to protect you. We may ask you to be quiet for a few minutes. We may ask you to lay down with us, but we're going to take care of you. We're going to protect you. Listen to us because we're going to get through this. There's ways to do it, but plan, be prepared, and get some training. You can make it out alive.
I hate that I have to talk to you about this, but we felt we were compelled to. John Matthews, those tips, we hope we never have to use them, but I appreciate you sharing them with us today. So we know that 100